So your business, Womb to World, covers
essentially from the womb out into the world. That's right.
Yes.
And what happens in the world. That's true.
Covers everything. And it'd be so interesting, right? So interesting. You get to work with women at so many different stages, and so many stages of different emotions too. So they could come. So let's start right at the beginning. Okay, let's start right at the beginning, and we'll work our way up the age cycle.
Yeah.
So patients who come to you for help with fertility, if they're having issues with not being able to fall pregnant, that's you help out with that?
Definitely. We even go one step back to young girls who are just getting their period.
Okay.
And of course, in this modern world, it's not uncommon for doctors to tell girls that it's okay, you've got pimples, let's just put you straight on the pill. Or it's really normal to have painful periods, which it is not. That is actually a pathology, that we don't experience pain with periods. That is something that is not normal, but it's so societal that they say that's okay, this is great, you've got pain, you're a woman now. So we even start back there in the early stages where they're starting to menstruate.
So my son took over my Facebook today, and he's like, Mum, I'm on this mums group, the local mums group, and he's like, there's somebody who's posted on there about their 13-year-old who's been on the pill for 12 months already. And he's like, to me, this is my 17-year-old son. He's like, what the fuck? Like,
exactly.
He even knows.
Yeah. And for what reason? Like, why are young girls at such a young age, at 13, they shouldn't even be having that experience, but this is now what is happening. And acne, straight away, they're put on the pill. Anything that's the solution. And of course, what happens when you're placed on the pill, your hormones are suspended in animation. It's virtually like pressing the pause button. So when you come off the pill, when you're ready to have babies at, say, I don't know, 24, 25, 26, you then have to go through puberty all again because your hormones have just been paused. So imagine what that happens to the brain, but also physiologically, like you haven't developed, basically. Your hormones, your ovaries are just now going to bloom and blossom at the age of 26 when you're wanting to have a baby. You're not going to be ready to have a baby.
So advice for the mums who have got girls coming up through their late teenage years, who may be sexually active or who may have skin issues.
Yes.
It's very hard. We want to offer alternatives, don't we? We want to offer a different alternative for mums to be able to have the conversations with their daughters.
Yes. And it's a really tricky one because you don't want a teenage pregnancy, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to be sexually active. So you are wanting that protection, but is it not to teach them to abstain or to use condom? I don't know. It's a really tough conversation to have.
I think as long as we're having a conversation, I think how cool is it when, like, I know my house is an open door to all of my son's friends, and they all come in, or their girlfriends come in, and we sit down, or like some of the things that we talk about is like, and they at least we're having a conversation.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So it's long-term effects. It's like being on a medication that you may not necessarily need, but then where do you go from there? So a lot of young girls are choosing not to go on the pill these days just because of the risk of cancer, clots, and what the pill can actually do to our body. It's really important to have that conversation and to know what the alternatives are than the pill. So just because you have acne doesn't mean that you need to go on the pill. Perhaps you need to look at your gut. We need to look at what your hormones are doing. Your pillow slip, your skin products, what you're putting on your body is so important, not necessarily cured with the oral contraceptive pill.
Yeah. So the hormones kick in, and then it's like, okay, what you jump on the medical bandwagon, like pretty much straight up. And it's like, okay, I'm just going on the mini pill, or that it's not much, it doesn't matter. You know.
And then fast forward to when you're wanting to have babies, and now you've just come off the pill, you can't get pregnant. You see how that it links in. So what they do is then they rush to IVF rather than giving their body time off the pill to regulate their menstrual cycle. We're just jumping again into a medical paradigm where you're stuck on this, you know, merry-go-round that you can't get off, just because it started with when you're young going on the pill. Now coming to babies, your body hasn't caught up with coming off the pill. I'm not pregnant after 6 months of trying, so I'm going to go and see an IVF doctor to have a baby.